Hi, friends. I am so excited to talk to you for just a couple of minutes today about John chapter 7. In John chapter 7, Jesus is becoming famous. He's got followers, he's got disciples, he's got people he's mentoring, he's got huge crowds of people following him. And while he's doing miracles, he's teaching, people are really coming to know him as the Messiah. But not everybody believes that he's the Messiah. And some of those people who don't yet believe in him are his very own brothers. Probably he helped raise them because Jesus was the firstborn son of Mary. And so these were the sons that were born to Mary and Joseph after he was born. So they're kind of teasing Jesus at this point. Hey, you want to become more famous? Then you need to go to Jerusalem where it's happening. And there's this big festival. There's a Feast of Tabernacles and everybody's going to be there. And you should go there and just become more public and get more famous. They're kind of daring him to leave his safe little fishing town of Galilee and go to Jerusalem. So Jesus doesn't want to go. He's very reluctant. And he says, well, it's not my time yet. I don't think I should be going. So they take off and leave without him. And Jesus actually ends up leaving a little bit later, but he goes in secret. He's incognito for 3 days. It's a 7-day festival. This festival, it's called the Feast of Tabernacles. It's also called Sukkot. This is a pilgrimage that the Jews make once a year to commemorate and remember God's provision for them in the wilderness. But, there's always like a prophetic piece to these Jewish festivals. The prophetic part is they're looking forward to the time when God will dwell among his people for eternity. That's what they're celebrating. It's a 7-day festival. What they do is they take... they build a little hut, without a roof. It's called a sukkah. It's just a little temporary structure. And every day they leave the comfort and the safety of their home, and they go out to the sukkah, and they have, I want Jesus in my picture. And they have their meals together in the sukkah with their family and friends. And this is to commemorate their tabernacle, their being together with God and with one another out in the desert, out of the safety of their homes. And God provided for them. It's also kind of a symbol of us as earthen vessels. These are our temporary vessels. And then when we go to heaven, then we will be in a dwelling place with God for eternity. But our earthly vessels here are temporary. So that's just a very small part of what Sukkot is. But this is what they were celebrating. So Jesus is there for at least 3 days, because it says halfway through, then he finally goes to the temple and kind of reveals himself. So it's either 3.5 or the 4th day, he begins to teach. And he ever so gently, I feel like, tries to reveal his identity as Messiah. Those who were attending the temple to worship God. And so the people some were really amazed at his wisdom. They loved it. And then the more he reveals, it starts stirring up people. They start questioning his authority, his identity. And they begin to argue. So on the very last day of the festival, the feast, remember, they're celebrating God being with them, God dwelling with them in the desert, God redeeming them from slavery into a new place of freedom, all those things. And then here comes Jesus, Emmanuel, okay? Remember what Emmanuel means? God with us. Jesus was born on earth to be the fulfillment of God dwelling with man. Jesus was the Lamb of God who came to set us free from the bondage of sin. Some could see it and connect those dots, but some could not break off of their traditions at that time to really grasp Jesus' identity. I think that Jesus just had the most beautiful grace for his brothers and for others who just had to really take some time to process what was happening, the fulfillment of the prophecy they waited on for all these years, generation after generation, that he was actually the fulfillment of it. So I'm just thinking about lately living my faith out loud with people around me in my neighborhood and other people that I come into contact with. I think it's just a good rule of thumb not to let people's reactions stop us from living fully who we are and the fullness of Christ within us to be lived out loud. Even if people don't get it right away or they don't want to hear it, or, it's okay. It's okay. It's part of their process. And so, grace to you, my friends. Grace to you as you live your faith out loud today in truth and in God's peace. I love you. Thanks.